Loki is the most recent Marvel Cinematic Universe show that is currently streaming on Disney Plus. This show focuses on an alternate version of Loki, and he is brought to the Time Variance Authority. That is an organization that exists outside of time and space and monitors the timeline. As the show goes on, Loki realizes that not everything is what it seems, and that there is a greater threat that is on the rise. So, as you guys know, Marvel has decided to release a plethora of their own shows on the streaming service Disney Plus. Loki is the third one that has been released so far this year. So far, we've had WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Personally, I've really enjoyed both of them, so I was excited for Loki. Additionally, I've always loved Tom Hiddleston as a character Loki. Loki is definitely one of the top tier villains in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'll even go as far as saying that he is one of the best characters in the entire universe because the way Tom Hiddleston plays the character, he plays him perfectly. He is very sarcastic, he's evil, but he has such a personality about him that despite how bad of a character he is, you still really like him. So I was definitely curious to see how the show was going to turn out. And for those of you who don't know, specifically when I said that this show focuses on an alternate version of Loki, I'm talking about after the events of Avengers Endgame. So the Avengers, they travel back in time. The 2012 Loki, he disappears because he gets the Tesseract. This show focuses on what happened to Loki after that. So the question is, what did I think of the show Loki? Guys, I loved Loki. Loki was fantastic. In my opinion, easily the best show we've had so far from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I will go as far as saying that it is one of my favorite things to come out of the MCU. This show surprised me, and it went into directions I did not expect it to take. Honestly, it's unpredictable. I couldn't predict a lot of the things that happened, but the things that happened satisfied me, and I was intrigued watching the show consistently. I watched the show weekly. I watched it from the day it aired till the day it had its finale. And I have to say, after every episode ended, I was curious to see what was going to happen the following weeks. So let's talk about some of the reasons why I loved Loki. First and foremost, there is no spoilers in this review, so don't worry about that if you have not seen this show. So Loki is a great character study. You get to experience how Loki is as a character in different ways that you've never seen before. So we always known him as the villain, right? He is somebody who does have kind of a tragic past, and you kind of understand why he is the way he is, but this show really takes that in different ways. It's kind of hard to delve into that without giving away any spoilers, but episode 1 right away, you get to see 2012 Loki experience things that he hasn't experienced yet, but when he watches those things, you get to see that take a toll on his character. And this show doesn't really glorify his character or tries to make him into the hero, but he tries to make you somebody that you can not only sympathize with, but you can get a better understanding of where he is coming from. I thought Tom Hiddleston added so many different layers to his character that we haven't seen before. And because of that, it's his best performance to date. He was absolutely excellent in this show. He takes his character into different heights, and you get to see, as I stated before, different emotional aspects about his character. He also has a lot more range, and since it's a show about him, he has way more to do. So Tom Hiddleston absolutely killed it. And as good as he is probably not even the best actor in the show, despite how good he is. There's Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson's in the MCU, and he is so good. He plays Agent Morbius. And Mobius, I'm sorry. And I have to say, his bromance with Tom Hiddleston's character, Loki, definitely one of the biggest highlights of the show. He has his own energy, his own personality that really sticks out and makes you love his character. And plus, you have Owen Wilson playing him, who I've always liked Owen Wilson. So I thought having him in the MCU was an interesting choice. But after seeing Loki, I can say that he is easily one of my favorite characters in the entire MCU. I love with what they did with his character, his back and forth with Loki, and what they had him do as the show went on. Another big standout is an actress named Sophia DiMartino, who plays Sylvie, who's a different type of Loki. I'll just say that because there's different types of Lokis in the show. all I will say is that she kicks so much ass and she is a wonderful addition to the entire MCU. The way she partners up with Loki and their back and forth and what she's able to do as well as the show goes on, it's awesome. And you really, really just have an appreciation for the writing of this show because of those reasons and for a bunch of other reasons too. This really is so unique. Now, I said that about WandaVision, and I'm not taking away anything from WandaVision because that is a unique show in its own right. But if you ask me, I think this show is more creative. It is definitely more out there. It unapologetically takes it into more crazier heights. But to me, it's only beneficial in that way. And I just loved it. It was so visually stunning. The musical score is incredible. Definitely one of the best scores that the MCU has ever had. And the finale is absolutely amazing. No spoilers, obviously, but one thing I appreciated about this show is that this show has action scenes, right? The action scenes are really well filmed, but this show is definitely more about the drama aspect. Even the finale, there's no huge, gigantic battle that you would expect to see from the MCU. Yes, there is some action, but it mostly focuses on characters talking and discussing the stakes and what's to come. And to me, the way that was handled, it was way better than having this gigantic CGI action scene that would have probably been entertaining and cool in its own right. But to me, the finale and for Loki, it was more powerful in that way. Just, focusing more on the character dynamics. I thought that was handled so well, and I was surprised in that way. To me, out of the three shows, obviously I like this the best, but I would even go as far as saying that the finale is easily the best of the three, in my opinion. So there's so much to love about the show. As I said before, it's visually stunning. The writing is awesome. The direction is very confident. And it easily is one of my favorite things from the MCU. If I had to say a flaw, there is a couple of episodes that are just not on par with some of the other episodes. So episode 3, I know that's an episode that a lot of people are split on. I don't think it's bad at all, to be clear, but if I'm being honest, the first 2 episodes were really strong. And then when episode 3 happened, I did kind of feel that quality downgrade a little bit, but not terribly. As I said before, episode 3 is not terrible at all. It's just, you can kind of feel that downgrade as you're watching it. But that's just a personal opinion of mine. I love this show. And I suppose it's not really a flaw, but similar to the other 2 shows, I just wish it was longer. But there's going to be a season 2. That's not a spoiler. There's a whole article that came out 24 hours ago stating that season 2 has been announced. So we'll get to see more, obviously. But I love this show. This is one of my favorite shows of the year. I would highly recommend checking it out, especially if you're an MCU fan. If you're an MCU fan, if you're not watching these shows, you need to change that. These shows, in my opinion, so far, they're 3 for 3. I've really enjoyed all of them. I love Loki, so I'm going to give this show a 9 out of 10. Loki is fantastic. It's an excellent show, and I can't wait to see where the MCU is headed next. And that's all I can say because I can't spoil it, like I said before. But the finale, it allows you to see new opportunities, and you're more excited to see what's going to happen. And that's what I love about this show. So 9 out of 10 for Loki. The next MCU Disney Plus show is going to be the animated show What If? And I saw the trailer for that. That looks fantastic. And that also includes Chadwick Boseman's last performance. So, yeah, it's going to be emotionally heavy because just for that reason alone. But other than that, it just looks really cool in general. So I'm definitely excited to see the remaining MCU shows coming out this year. As I said before, I really enjoyed WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier, but Loki is a show I love. It's one of my favorite shows of the year. 9 out of 10 for Loki. Thank you guys for watching my review of Loki. I hope you guys enjoyed it and will take it into consideration in regards to checking out this show or not. So here's the deal. I am going to be out of state this weekend, which means there will be no new reviews this weekend. I will be watching the movies Space Jam: A New Legacy and Fear Street Part 3, 1666 next week. So those reviews are not going to be, early. They're going to be late reviews. But I'm still going to review them, obviously, because I want to review both. And that will be next week. So thank you guys again for watching my review of Loki. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share the review if you want. I'll see you guys next week with either Space Jam or Fear Street First. I'm not sure. Whichever one it is, I'll see you guys next time. So take care. Have a good one. Goodbye.